Oh, Lord, Karen State.
Upwards of like a quarter, middle six figures.
So 250,000.
Yes.
Okay. So does the man have a shot with you if he makes less than that, or projected to make less than that, or no?
No, I want kids, and kids are expensive. I work with kids 5 to 7 days a week, so.
Okay, so no man that's not making that or projected to make that.
Um, yeah,
Cynthia? You said Cynthia?
yeah,
Say it again.
yeah.
Tia. Tia, how old are you?
25.
25, and what you do for a living?
I'm currently a dual master's grad student, but I work part-time. I have two jobs. So I work with kids with disabilities and adults with disabilities.
So, okay, kids with disabilities and adults with disabilities. Okay, do you have any kids yourself?
No.
No kids. And what city or state you calling me from?
I'm in New York City.
New York City. And what's your zodiac sign?
Virgo.
What?
Oh,
A Virgo? Virgo. So we got Tia, 25, Virgo, lives in New York City, works with kids and adults with disability, and no kids yourself, right? Never married?
no, and I'm a student as well.
And you're a student, okay. All right, Tia. What kind of man you looking for?
Okay, so we're gonna give her a base rating based on her age, location, service level, physical attraction. Everything else is gonna be a plus or a minus on this number that we come up with. These things listed on this slide are very, very essential in determining if the woman on the screen can get the man that she's asking for. We're also going to go ahead and rank the man that she is requesting as well. That's very important to look at. And her ranking is going to go up or down depending on these factors listed on this screen. So we're going to take all this into account in determining if she can get the kind of man that she's asking for. So based off what I'm seeing right here in front of my face, with this wig and the Miss Netta aesthetic, and I'm not saying that to be mean, but she does favor Miss Netta from Miss Netta and Charles. And maybe it's the wig, or maybe it's just like the structure of her face. I wouldn't say this lady is over anything over a 5. She has a very average look, but average isn't bad. But somebody with that kind of face, it would be very hard for them to get a call back at a modeling casting call in New York City. And that's where she's based in. New York City is one of the most competitive places on the planet in the terms of beauty and dating, especially for women. Now, men may have it a little different, especially if they have money. You could probably look any kind of way and get a hot wife. But for her, the dating market is very, very fierce. She says she's 25, living in New York City. I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I totally believe that she's 25. She looks more like 35. Like, she looks way older than me. I'm not going to lie. And I'm not trying to be mean, but that's just what I'm seeing in front of me right now. So on a scale of 1 to 10, she's definitely based at a 5. But to be honest with you, I would give her like a 4 on a look scale. I'm just not. It's like she's average, but like a little bit below average. And maybe it's the wig, or maybe I'm tripping, but I'm going to give her like 4 out of 10. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section.
So dating, and I'm on like a couple dating apps and I meet men in person, but I guess someone that's kind, intelligent, that's major for me, educated, preferably no kids because I have no kids, and uh, just a good person.
A good person.
Financially secure.
Okay. What are your deal breakers?
I think my deal breakers is any criminal record, someone that's not sensitive to kids or adults with disability or people that are like different than them. Like I have ADHD. That's something that I've kind of always had, and I discovered I had it like in my early 20s. So that's a part of my identity, and I work with kids, and when I graduate I'll be a special education like teacher. So someone that's just very in tune with knowing that there's neurodivergent people out there. So that's important for me. I guess a deal breaker would be not being understanding of that. Another deal breaker would be a lot of kids. 1 in 50-50 relationship, like 1 in a 50-50 situationship, and any type of abusiveness.
So you don't want a 50-50 relationship?
No, that's
Okay,
not up culturally. I'm Jamaican, so
okay. So that means you want a provider 100%.
80, 90%, even 70%, yeah, a provider.
80, 90%. Okay. Okay. Should he look a certain way?
I'm 5'8", so I would prefer someone 5'9" and up.
Someone 5'9" and up. Okay. Should he make a certain amount of money?
Yeah, so I do want to get married and I want kids in the future. So I would say upwards of like a quarter, middle 6 figures.
So 250,000.
Yes.
Okay. So does the man have a shot with you if he makes less than that, or projected to make less than that, or no?
No, I want kids, and kids are expensive. I work with kids 5 to 7 days a week, so.
Okay, so no man that's not making that or projected to make that.
Can I tell you my age range? Maybe that will make more sense to you and the men dating. So I'm used to dating like executives, people in tech, doctors, business owners, and a lot of them do make that amount or higher.
So what's up with those guys?
Um, well, kids, they have kids, or they don't want to be a provider, or things just happen.
So they make the amount of money and they still don't want to be a provider?
Yeah, they want 50-50 relationships.
So you date the men that make 250K and they still want a 50-50 relationship?
Yeah, many men don't want to be providers. It's a thing. Or some of them don't want to have kids, or they're a certain age. So the age range I date, I would say, would be like 30 and up.
Okay. Okay. But 250K is the minimum.
I want to be married and I want to have kids. So I would say I don't want to put a number on it because I feel like there's a stigma when you put a number on it. So
Well, I mean, here's the deal. The question can be skipped and sometimes not, no, excuse me. The question can't be skipped. But I mean, the answer could be whatever it is, right? So there's some women who don't care, but you obviously do care. So I guess the clarity is this. You want to have children, and when you have children, you do not want to work at all.
oh no, my career trajectory is teacher, specialist, lawyer. So I do want to work, but I do want someone that will provide for the family. Like that's
So I guess sometimes I've heard this question from the men. So what happens with all the money that you make if he's the sole provider?
it goes into the household, it goes into the kids, it goes into investment, travel, stuff like that.
Okay, so he's the sole provider of all the living expenses, and your money is the extracurricular activity.
Yes.
Okay, okay, we got the explanation. Okay, let's do the Kendra Cam. Oh, look, you're in shape.
Like to go hiking and exercise and stuff like that. So my schedule is a little bit packed right now, but when I'm not so packed, I'm very like active.
When you're not so packed, okay. Let me see. We got some paid questions, child.
No.
This one said, Kendra, go ahead and get your drawing pad ready. Save her some time. So I have been known to draw people for people when they say something that we think is not going to happen. I'm not going to draw your man, though.
I'm not asking for a lot. These are the men that I date, and
Yeah, okay, but let me challenge that. So one will say, if these are the men that you date, then you don't even need to be with us. You should be able to close the deal then because you already have access to the men that you date.
Her ability to dance around questions that are black and white and very easy to answer is astonishing. The point being, and Kendra is asking all of the right questions, is that you're in the faces of the men that you want to date and you hope to marry. But the thing about it is, they just don't want you, and you've admitted that, whether you see that you have or not. If it's right there in front of your face and you're trying to get something, but you can't seem to obtain what it is that you want, that either means one or two things. One, the thing doesn't want you, or you're just not qualified. And that's a very hard thing for a lot of women to grasp these days. But that comes into play when you have unrealistic dating expectations and you're not really aware of where you stand and what your position is in life. And it can be more of a hindrance than anything. This sense of false value, not to say that you're not valuable, but you ever think maybe you're overvaluing yourself, or maybe you're just trying to hit a ball in a park that you have no business even trying to be in the perimeter of? You ever think about that? But I guess not, though. That's one of the downfalls of telling people that, oh, dream on, you could get whatever it is you want in life, yada, yada, yada. This is one of the downfalls. It creates delusion and it hurts our community more than anything. And it's very, very sad.
Because what you're telling us is you have access to these men, but you're not closing the deal with them to get what you want, I guess, which is to be their wife.
Mm-hmm. I see your point there. My goal isn't to be someone's wife that doesn't want me to be their wife. So it has to be equally aligned, right? Like right now, my focus right now is like making sure I can provide for myself. But whoever is coming in my life, I want them to be able to provide as well. So that's why I'm in grad school. That's why I plan to go to law school. Like I want to be a boss chick. Like I want to be able to provide and take care of myself. But whoever else is going to be in that picture needs to also be able to do that. So it's not like I'm asking for something that I can't do for myself.
No, I get that. I think this is where, listen, I always tell people I'm not a relationship expert. I'm not a life coach. I don't give myself those titles. What I will say is I have a journalist background. And for the last 5 years, I have been talking to more than, really, I think the number is more than 15,000 single people. So with that, I've collected a lot of data. And I was talking about this the other day, and I get the boss chick mentality because the boss chick says kind of what you says. I can provide this for myself, so I'm only asking what you can do in return, which makes sense. I get that logical thinking, right? But the disconnect, the man that usually makes that amount, he dates with a different mindset. I don't think any man wants a stupid woman to be his wife because they want somebody smart enough to raise their kids. I don't think any man even wants necessarily a broke woman, right? But I think it's not, they don't always say, I want my financial equal. It's more so, I want the woman that fits within my lifestyle. And sometimes it could be a woman who makes half of what you make. She wins out of availability for the things that he needs, right? So, but either way, I will say, go ahead.
So I was dating this guy for 3 months recently, and it's funny enough that you're talking about this. The reason that I had to cut off that relationship was a few things came up that I didn't agree with. So he does well for himself. He's in tech, but we got into a conversation about like what happens if I get pregnant or what happens if we're married and I have kids. So his take is that he knows people that have kids and goes back to work in 3 months. 6 months. My take is that if I'm having a child with a man, I want to be able to be there for that child at least until they can talk. So
Well, that's but I asked you this question, and I said you want to have kids and you don't want to work, and you said that's not true. I'm a student. I want to do this.
then
Oh, your volume went out, honey.
I'm sorry, until they can talk, as in I want to go back to work. As in, that is something that I wouldn't mind doing, but I want to be there. I want to heal after I have a child. Black women have the highest mortality rate. So it all comes into play. So I would want to be with someone that if I can't work or if I can't contribute to the household, they can pick up the slack 100% without anything.
So how many years is that? So the child can talk like 2 years old?
Yeah. So
Right.
For him, that was a absolutely not.
Okay.
I would say for him, it wasn't a definite no. I would say more so for you, it was a definite no. He probably didn't see the value in you to want to take a risk like that. In simpler terms, you were not his wife. I think when men are more open, when men actually are interested in a woman and see a woman as their wife, they're more willing to compromise on things like that, or not even compromise. A lot of men already have it set in their mind, like, I'm going to make this woman my wife. She is not going to work, especially in the earlier years of our children's lives. She's going to be more involved. I'm going to employ her through one of my businesses, or she'll have something easier for her to do, like work from home or do something, create her own business, and I'm going to help her make it lucrative so she can stay at home and raise my children. Like, it's ways around the not working at all thing. Like, it's always an alternative, really. So you just weren't qualified for that man to play that role for that job. You know. So I think she's trying to villainize the man here, and I really wish he would have told her, like, you know, I'm not attracted to you like that. I don't view you as that kind of woman in my life. You don't fit that kind of bill for me. So I'm not interested in providing that kind of lifestyle for you. If people were more honest with each other, the dating market would be like a better place, both men and women. But I don't, if he's the guy that she's saying that he is, I don't see what other problem he would have, or like what other reason he'd have to rebut her proposition. The only thing that I could imagine is that he just didn't want her like that. And instead of her wanting to admit that, she wants to try to find all kind of caveats and nuances. So, child.
I would say a guy would be lucky to be with me because I'm very spontaneous. I'm very adventurous. Most people would say I'm intelligent, and I care about people, like genuinely care about people. I think I'm a kind person. I think I'm a good person overall, which there's not a lot of, I feel like there should be more good people in this world.
Please know this does not apply if you're a man. Your value is going to be based solely on how much money you make.
You should be good people in this world. All right, so we got Tia, New York. Do you want the guy to be in New York, honey?
New York, New Jersey would work. I don't have a car. That's a goal for mine when I graduate, like with my master's in a few months. So New York, New Jersey would work the best for now.
And what's your age range again was what?
I'm 25. I'm turning 26 in September. So I would say I would prefer under 50.
Okay, so what's the youngest?
29.
29 and 50. Okay. And you said he can't have kids already, or he can't?
I would prefer no kids. If you do have a child, you need to make more money.
Look, thinking just because you have a master's degree that you're going to be automatically making hundreds of thousands of dollars is a very big misconception, and it shows a lot of ignorance, and it shows that you probably should have never enrolled in a higher degree program because you don't know anything about the job market and what it takes to get a job and how much these people are actually making entry level. Just because you have a master's doesn't mean that you're not going to be entry level at a job. Even accountants. My goal is to be a CPA, but most accountants make about $50,000 to $60,000, $75,000 if you're working at a big four, $75,000, $80,000. Okay. please get real. All right. And then she says she's an overall good person and all of this and all of that. But it seems like you're only here to date a man with money. And if he doesn't have any money, you're not even going to pay him any attention. Does that really make you a good person? Are you hearing yourself? Really? I'm aggravated with her.
More than a 250K? Oh, okay. So what is the amount he should make if he already has kids?
Not go there. Just make more money.
So, okay, I want to be clear. So no kids is a 250K requirement. If he has kids, he has to make more than 250K.
Not necessarily about the money. Like on
That's what you said. You said if he has kids, he has to make more money.
yeah, but I don't want to put a number on it.
Okay, so if a man that has kids and he makes $80,000, could he date you?
I'm being realistic for where I live, New York City, right?
I'd ask you a question directly. If a man has kids and he makes 80K, can he date you?
How many kids?
One. No. So I started at the bare minimum of a kid. So a guy that has, so it is about the money, because let me explain this to you. If you have a money entry to even be qualified, it is about the money. So don't say it's not about the money.
Entry, it's if you have kids, I'm thinking you're financially providing for your kids. Like not
Yeah, no matter how you put it, I'm asking you clean cut questions. Now this is your life, so you can do it. But to say it's not about the money is a lie, because you just said if a guy makes 80K.
About the money. I'm not saying not fully about the money.
But no, but it starts there. No, but here's what you got to understand. This is why I'm asking you clarity. It's your life, so it is what it is. But when you say if a man makes 80K and he has a child, he's not an option, it is about the money.
And another thing that's baffling me is that she says she'll date as low as 29. Bruh. And I say bruh because she acting like a bruh right now. How many 29-year-olds do you know making 80K or 70K? Like, and that's before taxes. After you take out taxes, and then you live in New York City. It's people in New York City that are making $12 and $13 an hour. And that's majority of the population. Like, she's very, very, very delusional.
Because we don't get to the character if he doesn't make the money to even be considered. So it is about the money when it comes to you. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but that's what it is. Because if a guy has a good character and all those things, but if he makes 80K, he's not an option. So it's about the money.
Okay, you could say that. You could say that. It's okay.
Okay, so to be clear, if he makes 100K with a kid, not an option either?
I want kids, Kendra.
Girl, listen, I'm asking you questions. You don't got to explain it. Just tell me yes or no. If it's a no, then it's a no.
We could just move on. We can move on from it. I don't want to stay on the money topic because I feel like that shows a bad character for me.
Why do you feel like it shows a bad character if it's you?
Because you're gonna post a slide, and then when you post a slide, people are gonna say all she cares about is the money, and that's not all I care about. If you grew up the way I grew up, you would understand why it's important to me.
Here's the deal. I'm not even being judgmental at this moment, right? Because this is your life, right? But I have to say,
perceive things.
Say that.
People are gonna take things and run with it, and I know how people act on social media. And probably a family member or probably someone in my professional life will see this. So I'm being cognizant of that.
Well, Tia, here's the deal. It's your life, right? You got to live it. But you're perceived as who you are, right? So if you feel like that's a bad quality, then that's on you. I have women that come on the show and stand 10 toes down and don't give a damn. You got to make 500K and that's just what it is. And that's just what it is. So we can't move on, but really why I deep dive is so the men that are watching, it's like we try to make it specific enough so the person that can reach out should reach out and not waste their time. So, go ahead.
On the money per se, because then this live becomes just about the money. So that's why.
But here's the deal. These are the things that you said, because I said, could the guy have kids? And you said, well, he has to make more money. So I was just getting clarity. Right? And and if that's how you feel, then that's how you feel. But that's how I got there because we were just getting more clarity.
No,
So, okay. So why are you so nervous of how you're going to be perceived?
because I'm in a lot of spaces and I just know that your platform is really big and it might go somewhere that I just don't want to have these conversations.
Well, do you think that it's a bad thing to have a money requirement if he has a certain amount of kids or a 250K requirement? Do you think it's a bad requirement?
I think I'm thinking about the perception, like how it might look to someone. I might turn off someone just by saying that, but
Well, the men that turn the what happens is you turn off the men who don't make that, right? So there's men who just don't make it, right? They don't make that salary. So and this is what does happen. They then say, because essentially what it says is, I don't have a shot because of my salary, right? I don't have a shot. So yeah, they do feel a certain type of way. Like sometimes when men say they want a certain age quality, or I want a woman with no kids. Sometimes the women with kids feel away because they're like, well, you're counting me out before you even get to know me because I'm a mother, you know? So, and I know this is why I'm saying this. If you are around these men, you should really, really focus on that because I know that we come on this show and people think everyone's making $250,000 and it's really not the case. Huh?
I'm not there yet, but that is my trajectory. So
No, I mean, that's fine. But I think that all my boss chicks think that it actually really isn't the case, right? So when you come on this worldwide show, a lot of men do get sensitive when the money requirement comes up because they don't fall into it. Doesn't mean they're not, and they could be as in good character qualities they might have, just don't have the income quality. So then it's like, I'm not even an option because of my bank account. So that's the message that gets out there. But it's according to you, that's what you said it is, though, right? No?
it is what it is. I can't change what I would prefer. Same way a man will prefer a certain thing, I would prefer not.
Now, Kendra was doing good, but she double talks a lot. And I think she does that because she knows in order to keep people like this coming on her show that are delusional and attract more viewers to her channel, that she has to pander just a little bit. But I think oftentimes her mask slips off and the true Kendra comes out, and what she really thinks about these people and their expectations really, really comes out. And that's why I say channels like that are just so like more predatory than anything, because you know that the person on screen sounds crazy and you're choosing not to tell them, or you're only telling them just a little bit, but you're keeping a little more hope alive than necessary because you need delusional people, the Make-A-Wish Foundation, to come onto your channel so you can be successful. And that's really, really, really sad because this is more detrimental to the community than anything. Do you guys see it, or is it just me? Am I tripping? I don't think I'm tripping. Wow. It's sad. It's really, 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 really sad. I can't even do like a proper assessment on this girl because she is just so, maybe she needs to like check herself in somewhere and get evaluated seriously, because the thing that is just bothering me the most is that she keeps saying that she's in these circles and these are the kind of men that she dates and all of this and all of that. First of all, I would never admit something like that, even if it is true, because that just makes you sound like a pass around, and it makes you sound like you keep on going in and out of the hands of these successful men and nobody is grasping on and keeping you. What is it about you? But in simpler terms, if we really boil it down, it really comes down to like her physical appearance and also her mentality too. Physical appearance more than anything though, because it's like it's better looking women out there with better attitudes. And if I am a guy and I'm gonna settle for a woman with a bad attitude, she at least needs to be hot. And Stella, Tia, whatever your name is, you're not. And a man, it's no such thing as men who don't make the money requirement get salty. It's men who make the money requirement who not necessarily get salty, but they're willing to call you out on this BS, and they acknowledge the fact that you are in it more so for the money than anything. So I don't understand why people don't get. Money is up and down. Business is up and down. One day you could be up, one day you could be down. One day you could have it all together. The next day you could get an unexpected expense that you're not prepared for, and you could be struggling. Then what? Then what if you have to go out and get a part-time job and help support the family for a short amount of time because something happened, some bad business happened, and this month or maybe for like the next 6 months or the next year, I'm going to need your help digging our family up out of this hole. Then what? Divorce. You're going to leave, right? That's what it's giving. It's giving, and that's the true definition of like a ride or die. Not struggling and being in the trenches, but being there through the hard times with your man for the sake of y'all's relationship and y'all's family. And she doesn't seem like the kind of woman that is willing to go through the mud, through sickness and health, till death do us part. She doesn't seem like the type to stay true to her vows. She seems like the type that wants the husband and wants the children, but doesn't want to actually do the work that it requires to be in a relationship and to be a wife and to be a mother and to live life with somebody. I think that's what she's missing. Life is about more than just what you can buy or what you could afford or where you can afford to live. I mean, don't get me wrong, that kind of stuff is important, right? It is important. Your environment definitely does matter, but what about the hard times? Because everything isn't going to be glitzy and glamour all the time. And you say you're 25, I personally think you're 35. Either way, you're too old to not know this, especially when you're trying to date a certain kind of man. Right? You have to be a certain kind of woman, and you just simply are not qualified. So I give her a 4 out of 10, but I'm going to knock her down to like a 2 out of 10 because personality matters. Personality, mindset, femininity, fitness, all of that matters, you know. And she is kind of fit, but I saw her TikTok on a different page, and she used to be 300 pounds. So I think the fact that she lost a whole bunch of weight kind of inflated her ego, and it's making her think, okay, now I'm skinny. Now I could just get a better guy and I don't have to do any internal work. And also my face is my face, but this body looks good now, so my face doesn't matter. That's what she's thinking. That's her mindset. And that's going to be a detriment. That's going to hurt her in the future because your face is your face. And your personality is your personality. And it doesn't seem to be that you want to change at all. And then you've put this really, really bad representation of yourself on the internet for thousands, millions potentially of people to see already. So this is not a good showing of you as a woman, and it's not a good showing of what you're saying that you can offer to a man, because what it sounds like to me and to a lot of other people is that you're just bringing, you just choose to bring more bills and more headaches and more issues, right? Maybe I'm tripping, but what I'm gonna do for her is ban her to another galaxy, because the way that she thinks about men and dating their relationships, period, is just completely out of this world. So I think we need to put her where she belongs. What do you guys think? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
3.